Average net worth by age. Just because you may not see yourself as rich, it's still important to know your current net worth. It's also important to understand and compare it to your age to make sure you're on track to have enough money later in life. When the time finally comes to reduce your work commitments and sit on a beach under a palm tree sipping a pina colada, you need to make sure you have done enough throughout your working life to cover yourself or at least your basic expenses during your retirement years. This is often a tool which is overlooked by people, and they will blindly go through life never thinking about what their net worth should be at what age to make sure they are on track. It often comes as a shock to them when it's time to stop work that they don't have enough money to support themselves in a life which they want, or a life which they have been accustomed to while they have been working. In some cases, some will have to significantly reduce their lifestyle habits to fit in line with the amount of money they have saved up during their working life, often wishing they had paid this more attention early in life. So, this is your chance to see if you're on track financially with your net worth by age. And if you're not where you should be, you have time to try to correct it. And I will also show you how to do that, so make sure you watch the full video. Before we get into it, please hit that subscribe button and comment, "I subscribed," below, so I know who is serious about improving their financial well-being. Thanks. As we all make our way through this thing called life, we seem to think that everyone we look at is doing better than us in all aspects of their life. In most cases, this is probably not true, but unless you know what the average is for what you're trying to compare, you will never know where you are in life compared to your peers. In this video, we're going to look at how net worth is calculated and what your net worth should be for your age bracket. So let's get started. Firstly, how is net worth calculated and what is it? You will often hear the media, when referring to people like Elon Musk or Bill Gates, state their net worth. But what does it actually mean? The official definition of net worth is the total wealth of an individual, company, or household, taking into account all financial assets and liabilities. So, what are financial assets? A financial asset is a liquid asset that gets its value from a contractual right or ownership claim. Cash bonds, mutual funds, and bank deposits are all examples of financial assets. And what are financial liabilities? Another word for financial liability is debt. A debt is a contractual obligation to deliver cash or another financial asset to another entity. Before we look into the average net worth by age, we need to put things into context. How much money you need to live on will largely be defined by several factors. Where you live. If you live in New York and like to dine at fine restaurants, you're going to need more money than someone who lives in Delaware who eats frozen meals. The salary you earn currently. If you're used to living a life during your working years where you're earning hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, you're going to need more money to live on than someone who has been used to earning minimum wage all their life. But this is relative because the person earning more money should, if they don't spend more than they earn, be able to save and invest more money for the future. It's really important to know your net worth by age, because if you don't know if you are saving enough, how do you know where to cut back on your spending? Or if you're going to retire with the right amount of net worth to live the life you imagine in retirement. So, how is net worth calculated? Net worth is calculated by taking the value of all the assets you own and subtracting the amount of debt you owe. What is left over is your net worth. Let's look at some examples of net worth so you can see what I mean, and this will help you to calculate your own net worth. First, you need to determine all of your financial assets. This is anything which has a value and can be sold or is currently in cash in the bank or under your mattress. Examples of assets include, but are not limited to, your home, gold and silver, the money you have in the bank, your pension or 401k, stocks and shares, jewelry, for example, an expensive watch, a car if there is no finance on it. The list goes on, but as I said, it's basically anything you can convert into cash. A home or a car can still be a financial asset if you still owe money on them through a car loan or a mortgage. You just take the value of the asset as the portion which is already paid for. Let's look at the assets you may currently have as an example. So let's say you own a home which is worth $600,000 full sale value. You own a car which is worth $40,000 full sale value. You own a Rolex watch for $9,000 fully paid for. You have $12,000 in the bank and own $3,000 in Tesla stock. Let's look at the liabilities you may have as an example. You still owe $350,000 on the mortgage. You owe $30,000 on your car loan. You owe $10,000 in student loans. You owe $20,000 in credit card debt. Your total assets add up to $664,000. Your total liabilities add up to $410,000. Therefore, your total net worth is $254,000, which doesn't sound too bad, but it depends on your age and what the average net worth is compared to it. So let's take a look at that now. Before we do, if you are still watching this video, congratulations. You're one of the few who dedicates the time to become financially free. If you want to learn more about becoming financially free, then please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps me to bring you more great content. Thank you. The Federal Reserve Board in America conducts a survey every 3 years of consumer finances to collect information about family incomes and net worth. The last consumer finance survey was conducted in 2019, with the 2022 survey due to complete in December 2022. The survey found that the mean net worth for American households was $748,800. But this figure is somewhat skewed by the millionaires and billionaires around America, so isn't a fair indication. So looking at the median value gives a more accurate view of the average person in America, maybe someone like yourself. The median net worth value for the average American household was $121,700, which is a more realistic figure, and you can breathe a sigh of relief. So what about the average net worth by age? Let's start the countdown at age 20. At this time, you should have a job and be taking your first steps into your chosen career. Can you guess in the comments section below what you think the net worth of a 20-year-old should be? The average net worth of a 20-year-old in America today is negative $27,129. That's right, the average 20-year-old in the USA actually owes $27,129. So, if you're 20 years old and you owe less than this in debt, you are doing better than the average 20-year-old in America. Next, we look at people under 35. At this point, you may be just starting to take on more liabilities as you start a family, buying your first home, having children, getting married, etc. So, 30-year-olds don't tend to have a huge amount of net worth at this stage in their life. The median net worth you should have if you're below 35 is around $13,900, an increase on your 20-year-old self, but still a modest amount. So let's take a look at people between 35 and 44 and what their net worth should be. The median net worth you should have if you are between 35 and 44 is around $91,300. This is where your net worth starts to increase at a faster rate than in previous years. You should have started to pay down a mortgage and have established a career and starting to get regular pay raises. So you can really start to increase your net worth at this stage if you approach things right. Let's look at people between 45 and 54. The median net worth you should have if you are between 45 and 54 is around $168,600. This is where you really start to see some steady growth, as you should be getting towards the peak of your salary during your career as you gain more experience and become more established. If you have been living modestly, you should have a fair portion of your mortgage paid off and have a good amount put away into a retirement account at this stage. If you haven't established a retirement account by the time you're around 50, you are really running out of time to see the compound interest benefits and need to start seriously thinking about a retirement account or putting money into growth stocks and shares. See some of the other videos on the channel which will help you do this. Let's take a look at people between 55 and 64. The median net worth you should have if you are between 55 and 64 is around $212,500. At this age, as you start to work a little less and start to really think about retirement, the well-informed people who started an investment portfolio at age 30 are really starting to see massive growth and compound interest taking effect. They should be well over the median net worth of $212,500. But for those who haven't started an investment portfolio, you should still be in this range based on owning a home which should be mortgage-free by now. Now let's take a look at people between 65 and 74. The median net worth you should have if you are between 65 and 74 is around $266,400. The common age for retirement is around 65. So your net worth will have plateaued at this point, meaning that around this age is where you're going to start to see the rewards of a lifetime of saving and investing. If you have been investing and saving regularly from an early age, you should be in a position to sit under the palm tree drinking that pina colada as we mentioned at the start of the video. If you are in this position, well done. You can enjoy your retirement comfortably. Let's take a look at people 75 plus. The median net worth you should have if you are over 75 is around $254,800. This is the point where your net worth starts to decrease as you are using your net worth to fund your retirement. This is where people really start to rely solely on the money they have saved and invested over the years, as they are no longer able to work even a small amount to bring in additional income. All you need to be careful of here is to make sure you don't outlive your money. None of us know the date of our demise, so it's important to treat yourself once in a while, but still be somewhat careful with your money. Don't forget that any net worth you have acquired in your life will pass down to your children, so it's better to have too much than not enough. How to increase your net worth. If you're not meeting the average net worth amounts we mentioned earlier in this video, then don't worry. I have a few tips on how you can increase your net worth to get you back on track or hopefully get you above the average figures. 1. Pay down your debt as soon as possible. This should be a priority as this is the biggest thing which impacts your net worth by age. Pay off the highest interest debts first and keep going until they are debt-free. Then your net worth will start increasing quickly. 2. Invest in stocks and shares to get your money working for you as early as you can. I have plenty of videos on the channel to help you do this, so make sure you check them out after this video. 3. Try to decrease your expenses where you can. Live below your means and you will always be increasing your net worth. Someone who has $5 million in the bank but owes $6 million is not richer than someone who has $100 in their bank but owes nothing. 4. Lastly, try to create new income sources like starting a side business or even just working extra hours in your current job. It all adds up and will help to increase your net worth and put you on the path to financial freedom. Have a look at this next video to keep on building your financial knowledge. Be sure to subscribe and please share this video with a friend who is interested in the financial markets and wants to learn more about securing their financial future. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.